Hi, I'm Peter Welch. I want to talk to you a little bit today about President Trump's threatened auto and auto part tariffs.
Tonight, I want to speak with you.
On May the 30th, the President requested the Department of Commerce, pursuant to the Trade Expansion Act of 1962, to do an investigation as to whether the importation of automobiles and automobile parts, which would include passenger cars, sport utility vehicles, and light-duty trucks, were a threat to the national security of the United States. If the Department of Commerce makes such a determination, the President, as he was done recently with the aluminum and steel finding, would be able to impose tariffs on the importation of vehicles and vehicle parts. Now, as a matter of public policy, we actually believe that the President is right on three major issues. First, there has been a decline in manufacturing jobs in the United States over the last 30 years. Second, our growing international trade deficit, which ballooned to $568 billion last year, is becoming a growing problem. And third, unfair trade practices. Consider the United States imposes a 2.5% tariff on the importation of vehicles to the United States, where the EU imposes a 10% tariff and China imposes a 15% tariff. The President's been clear and consistent. He wants to cut a better trade deal for America, and quite frankly, his political base expects that. But new tariffs on imported autos and parts, if broadly implemented, would hurt the auto industry and our customers and our economy as a whole. So what's at stake for the auto industry? First off, today's auto industry is totally different than it was 30 or even 10 years ago. Auto manufacturers are globally integrated and their supply chains routinely span international boundaries. Moreover, consumer taste has changed as well. Today, 54% of vehicles purchased in the U.S. are made by international brands, but 44% of those vehicles are assembled right here in the United States. Last year, America's franchise new car dealers sold 17.1 million new vehicles, and we're on track to sell just under that again this year. Now, 75.9% of those units were built in North America, including over 3.4 million units assembled by FCA, Ford, and GM that were assembled in Mexico and Canada that are imports to the United States and could be subject to the proposed tariffs. This is not a domestic international brand issue. It's an issue that will engulf all of our members. International automakers have invested over $75 billion in 18 assembly plants they operate in the U.S. In fact, vehicles in the U.S. with the most American content are the Honda Odyssey and Ridgeline, both of which are assembled here and include 75% North American components. So, what's the bottom line? Broad-based tariffs on autos and auto parts will result in serious unintended consequences. Ironically, some domestic brands could get harder than international brands, and ultimately, American customers will be confused, have fewer choices, and pay higher prices. So what would it mean for our customers? Worst case scenario, a 25% tariff on cars and light-duty trucks could result in average prices increasing in the thousands of dollars. No other country in the world has an auto industry offering what American consumers have come to expect when choosing a safe, clean, efficient, and affordable car or light-duty truck for their family or job. At NADA, our priority is preserving that consumer choice and affordability. So, what's NADA doing about it? Well, last Friday we filed written comments with the Department of Commerce relative to its investigation, and I'm slated to testify before the Department of Commerce later this month at a hearing that they'll hold on the subject. We've also met with officials at the Department of Commerce and the White House, and we've been canvassing members of Congress to take their temperature on the issue. Our message has been clear. We support the President's goals, but the imposition of tariffs on imported autos and auto parts is not the right tool to achieve his goal and may in fact trigger a trade war of retribution that could be bad for our economy as a whole and even worse for our customers. So what can you do about it? In my opinion, the key to diffusing this issue is educating policymakers and the public that tariffs on imported autos and auto parts is a bad idea and has more downside than up. Our customers are already strapped to make car payments because of rising interest rates, rising commodity prices, and other regulatory schemes such as increased CAFE standards. Let your local city and county managers and your local and state elected officials know what kind of sales tax hit they could take if vehicle sales suddenly drop because of import tariffs. Likewise, the next time you visit with your member of Congress, let them know that auto tariffs are a bad idea. You can learn more at neda.org.